And now, forecast first on KOLR 10 News.
Well, the very dangerous and widespread flash flooding is continuing to go on across much of the Ozarks, mainly, more specifically for everybody along and to the south of Interstate 44. Some heavy rainfall right now is moving in, especially just off to the west of Branson, and a few storms that are just on top of Springfield right now. Some very heavy rainfall adding on to the many inches that we have already picked up across Missouri and northern Arkansas. More strong storms are going to stream their way up out of central Arkansas into northern Arkansas and into Missouri, and maybe even a few strong storms. There's a tornado warning right now across central Arkansas. I think the severe weather will not be a worry tonight, but the resurgence of more life-threatening flash flooding will be a big concern. My forecast is coming up in about 10 minutes. KOLR 10 News at 10 starts now.
One woman is dead
that was screaming for help
as flooding potential propels Missouri into a state of emergency. Branson residents are asked to evacuate.
I'm getting really nervous.
And major road closure.
All the water was over the parking lot.
Surge into Springfield.
Turn around, don't drown.
These stories and more.
You know, nothing like this.
Next.
I don't know if it's worse, but more frequent.
On KOLR 10 News.
You're watching KOLR 10 News at 10 in high definition.
One woman has died, another man rescued after they were swept away by floodwater south of Clever today. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm Daniel Shedd. Missouri State Highway Patrol spokesperson Sergeant Jason Pace says the incident occurred this afternoon on Route K. That's at the Christian and Stone County line. In tonight's Storm Team coverage, we're tracking the aftermath of flash flooding in the Ozarks and what may still yet to come. Our Bria Douglas is back in the newsroom from Barry County, but we begin with the latest in Branson, where our Grant Sloan is keeping an eye on the lake levels. Grant, good evening.
Well, Daniel, Branson was among those communities hit hard by severe flash flooding earlier this afternoon. It prompted several swiftwater rescues, encouraged evacuations, and of course increased the levels of our area lakes. For instance, Lake Taneycomo, just on the other side of the landing, I'm told, increased about 3 feet in just 1 hour earlier this afternoon. Now, this is what the immediate area kind of Branson and around Branson looked like earlier today. You can see water into businesses along Turkey Creek over in Hollister, and then water as well into the Lakeside RV Park in Branson, and that's just down from the landing. Now, Taneycomo is currently out of its banks. Something to keep in mind is that this is primarily due to the result of all of the rain that we've had today. What little bit of rain is coming out of Table Rock Dam is the result of a generator being down, so it's not due to the weather. So the question becomes, if and when the Corps has to make a weather-related release from Table Rock Dam, how large will that release be? I asked Branson Fire Chief Ted Martin if the release could be similar to that of 2015.
Anything is possible today or tonight or even tomorrow morning, but it truly comes down to the great work that the Corps does to do the measurements between the lake systems, the inflows, how much rain do we get, what can we store, and where is it going to be stored at. But when we're at the level that we're at, what they've shared with us, we think we should be ahead of it as a community, and let's move some people.
Now, if the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers does decide to increase the flow currently coming out of Table Rock Dam, that's expected to happen between now and potentially 4 a.m. Sunday morning or tomorrow morning. And that's why the Branson emergency personnel in the county have been encouraging folks that if they're going to evacuate, go ahead and do that earlier today so those evacuations aren't occurring at night. Reporting live in Branson, Grant Sloan, KOLR 10 News, Ozarks First.
Grant Sloan tonight, thank you very much. Continuing our Storm Team coverage now, Bria Douglas visited Barry County where they experienced major flooding. She joins us now with more. Hi, Bria.
Hi, Daniel. Deputy Justin Rourke is a husband and father of 6 who has worked for the Barry County Sheriff's Department since 2010. As you can imagine, today is one of the busiest days of his career, and Rourke not only spent it juggling his professional life, but his personal life as well.
It's amazing what one thing can do to bring an entire city to its knees.
Barry County Deputy Justin Rourke is patrolling around Cassville, a city that he barely recognizes.
This is the Cassville City Park.
The city's underwater.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not done yet. It's still raining.
We're on our way to Deputy Rourke's home, where he's heard that it has flooded. Along the way, we encounter streets that we can't ride through because of high water.
This road's all closed off. All the way through there, it's a lake. That's the main city street.
We pull up to Deputy Rourke's house where he sees for the first time since leaving for work in the morning the toll the rain has taken on it. He stands speechless and emotional. He's reliving the nightmare.
When you look around, you can't even see my driveway or the yard or nothing. Sucks. It's like the third time. It's hard to rebuild.
I mean, for your family.
More struggles.
He looks at his yard that has turned into a swimming pool and a basketball hoop that is being swallowed by water.
Hard on the kids, you know, trying to do all their stuff, go to school.
The blessing is everyone's safe, right?
That's right.
The job awaits, so Deputy Rourke gets back in his patrol car to continue his shift.
Job comes first. Have the family safe.
Before heading out, he takes one last look at his home, even spotting a foreign object passing through the water.
It was like a telephone pole floating down the river over there.
Deputy Rourke says that his wife and kids will stay with family until they can go back to their home. And even though this will be the fourth time it's flooded, he plans to rebuild it in its same spot again.
Bria Douglas tonight. Wow, thanks. Flat Creek has also caused the highway near Jenkins to close in both directions tonight. Color 10's videographer Chris Six was on the scene this afternoon. The rushing water made it impossible for anyone to cross. Thankfully, there have been no reports of injuries related to this flooding in this area. And MoDOT is watching the James River closely as it approaches severe flood stage. If the river rises a couple more feet, it could potentially close ramps along the US 60 and 65 interchange. Color 10's Jennifer Abreu got a first-hand look.
We kayak on this river when it's normal.
I come out here all the time to take GoPro videos and kayak.
And Saturday, after around 4 inches of rain in Springfield,
There's just water everywhere.
Parking lot where the fishing access is, and all the water was over the parking lot.
these kayakers came out to the Galloway Creek Greenway to see just how the heavy rainfall had changed the river.
The height, the current, the color of the water.
Saturday's flooding wasn't enough to close the 60 and 65 interchange. The water rose up to 18.86 feet.
It's very close to the bottom of the bridge.
The highest as I've ever seen it.
If it reaches 20 feet, the severe flood level, that's when MoDOT says there's a possibility of closures. MoDOT says in July of 2015, the river reached 21 feet and the interchange was closed, but for less than a day. As the rain tapers off in the Springfield area and the river isn't rising as fast, there's a chance the interchange is in the clear. MoDOT says stay home if you can because many secondary routes are closed.
And had to drive, an hour out of my way just to get to the bank because so many, county roads were closed.
And while it may be inconvenient, it's your safest bet.
Turn around and go a different way.
In Springfield,
Flooding everywhere.
Jennifer Abreu,
You don't get to see it every day.
Color 10 News, Ozarks First.
And battlefield firefighters responded to reports of a man asking for help near a flooded area this afternoon. It happened along US 141, just south of 190. It's near the River Cut Golf Course. Firefighters say a call reported seeing a man in a red hoodie asking for help just south of that bridge on 141. After searching for an hour and a half, the rescue team did not find a person nor a vehicle.
We've looked, we went both upstream and downstream. We've been downstream pretty far, and up to now we haven't located any sign of anything.
And US 141 remains closed through traffic due to high water just south of that bridge. We bring you a developing story now tonight at 10 o'clock. All Missouri State West Plains students have been evacuated from the Grizzly Lofts. It's unclear at this time how many students are affected. However, Howell County has confirmed that all students and staff are safe. And a man and woman are thankful to be alive tonight after their truck was caught in moving waters. This video comes to us again from West Plains. You see the truck there sinking in floodwaters. Passerbys hopped out of their vehicles and stood on the bank. That's as the couple was able to escape their vehicle and swim to safety. And here's a live look at the MoDOT Travelers Information Map. You can see there are plenty of flooding icons on some roads in the Ozarks, meaning they're likely impassable tonight. It's imperative that if you do have to get out, you check this map for any road closures you may find. You can find a link to that map on our website at ozarksfirst.com. And the American Red Cross has opened up 2 shelters in southwest Missouri tonight to assist those affected by the floods. The first shelter is located in Anderson, Missouri. That's at the First Baptist Church on Friendship Lane. The other is in Branson at the Branson United Methodist Church off of Highway 76. Overnight accommodations are available. Red Cross suggests bringing a couple days worth of medications, clothing, and comfort items. You can find more Red Cross shelters once again at our website at ozarksfirst.com. And for up-to-date weather information, be sure to download the free Color 10 News and Weather apps. You can find them in the App Store as well as on Google Play. Coming up next on your news at 10 o'clock, 2 lives were lost overnight in southwest Missouri. Plus,
I was able to wade through it and get my animals.
Flood concerns continue in the Ozarks. We'll continue to survey the damage next on Color 10 News at 10.
You're watching Color 10 News at 10 with Daniel Shen. Weather with meteorologist Wes Peary. And sports with Megan Rice. This is Color 10 News at 10.
In more local news now, 2 wrecks claimed the lives of 2 men overnight. The first happened near Lake Springfield. Police say it happened in the 5700 block of South Kissick Avenue. A car crossed the center lane and struck a truck head on. The driver of that car died at the scene. The other driver had minor injuries. Police believe alcohol was involved. And flipping to the next crash, a man from Lebanon also died last night on Highway 64. Highway Patrol says 27-year-old Charles Weaver died after his vehicle ran off the right side of the road and struck a tree. A 10-year-old passenger suffered serious injuries. This accident happened 11 miles west of Lebanon in Laclede County. And the torrential rains caused problems just about everywhere in southern Missouri. Taking a look around the region, some people remained evacuated. Others were getting their first look at what the floodwaters did to their homes. In Neosho, some people saw as much as 3 feet of water. One man says he lost everything. Others say they weren't home at the time, but were surprised by what they found once they finally made it back.
I came over here and the water had receded quite a bit, and I was able to wade through it and get my animals and take them back to the car and take them to my parents' house.
So what'd you find when you came home?
A bunch of mud, a hole in our bathroom, and some knocked over trash.
Both women here say that they do have flood insurance. They're not sure how long it will take them to clean up the mess caused by those rising waters. A Granby family is left wondering what to do after their home is heavily damaged by floodwaters. According to Stephanie Tanner, she woke up this morning floating in her bed. She awoke to the sound of the flash flood warning on her phone. Tanner stepped out of bed and says she stepped into water after more than 8 inches were on the ground. She says the creek is typically a calm place she enjoys, but today, a monster.
Everything we've worked for, we're 43 years old and our children are grown, and this is all we have left. We built the house in 2011, and that creek out there was just a peaceful, babbling brook and always has been a great place for the kids to come play.
And Tanner adds once the water recedes, she'll pick up and figure out how to get things back to normal. And continuing our weather coverage now west, just incredible images flooding in overnight, and we have more rain on the way.
Yeah, it's not what you want to hear when you already see a foot of rainfall in some spots of the Ozarks. We could get 1 to 3 inches more. Some folks are even trapped within their own city, not able to leave without power. I'll let you know just where I think the most rainfall will fall tonight after this break.
And now, Color 10 News meteorologist and weather expert Wes Peary.
Well, life-threatening flash flooding is ongoing still across the Ozarks. Mainly everybody along and south of I-44 is where we find the most dangerous scenarios happening right now. Flash flood warnings out for pretty much everybody along and south of I-44 and a couple of spots along northern Arkansas. And some of the worst flash flooding that I've seen as of recent is going to be in West Plains, where it's even, I think, as of a couple hours ago, you couldn't leave the south side of West Plains. You couldn't get into West Plains from the south side. All roads were flooded. Power is out in West Plains. There's also power outages and flooded roads spread really across everybody living along and south of Interstate 44. Lots of flash flood warnings. These will go throughout the overnight hours, and then we're actually going to see rain make their way out of northern Arkansas and central Arkansas and up through the Ozarks. And so we're expecting continual rain showers throughout the overnight hours. May get a little bit of a break, however, just before dawn, before we get our last bout of showers and storms. But the area I'm most concerned about is going to be kind of this corner across southwestern Missouri and northwest Arkansas. We'll include Springfield in this area. But this is where I think we could see 1 to 3 inches, the highest amounts of that 1 to 3 inches. So maybe 2 to 3 inches in that corner. Everybody along and south of I-44 is going to have the chance of picking up 1 to 3 inches. Generally, north of I-44, I think maybe just 1 to 2 inches overnight tonight. What that will do is that will restart the flash flooding that may have subsided a few hours ago. It will restart all that flash flooding, which means it's going to be a continually very, very dangerous situation unfolding overnight tonight. And some of these numbers are just, they're awful. I mean, look at these little stripes down here and pinks. Where you find this purple just to the north of Fayetteville, line that up with a legend, that's where 12.5 inches plus rain has fallen according to this radar product. Within these little stripes of purple, that is 10 plus inches of rain. These areas that have seen about a foot of rainfall are going to see another few inches tonight. So that is why I am encouraging everyone, please do not get out and drive, especially in the rural communities. The roads are likely going to be more flooded in the rural communities. This is a life-threatening situation. Some people have already lost their lives, so I'm stressing this as much as possible. Please do not get out. Flash flood watches out until Sunday evening. Flash flood warnings out until about Sunday afternoon. So here's a look at the rainfall totals once again. A lot is going to come back into the picture. This model, I think, is doing a pretty good job. We'll watch as more storms come out of southern Arkansas into northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. This is going to be our last bout of rain coming through on Sunday morning, and then we'll slowly begin to dry out by our Sunday evening. Again, I think this corner is not being displayed too well on this model, but generally this corner across southwestern Missouri, I think, is going to see the most rainfall overnight tonight. So showers and thunderstorms continuing overnight. Temperatures in the 60s really throughout the evening and throughout the day, cooling off actually by later on in the evening. These are a few of the flooding rivers we're worried about. I think these will hit the moderate stage, and a few major flooding is going to be possible across these rivers as we get into Sunday and into Monday. Good news is I think we'll dry out Monday. The bad news is another risk of flooding comes into the picture Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And
you just threw up a lot of rivers there. I know you don't have time to dive into all of that, but people need to be actively watching these rivers and these low floodplains as the night continues.
Yeah, if you live near a river or a stream, a good website is water.weather.gov. It has all the river forecasts on there.
Wes, thanks. And we're going to continue to look at some weather pictures. They've been coming into our Facebook page as well as our email account all day. Once again, I mean, we just see picture after picture of water covering roadways, and these are some of the dangers as we head in tonight. Yeah. Water in places you really don't expect them to be.
Yeah, so we're urging everyone, if you don't have to travel tonight, just don't do it. It's better to save your car and save your life and stay in and watch some TV than it is to try to get outside this evening.
Wes, thanks. And if you would like to send your pictures or videos in, we'd love to see them on our Facebook page at KOLR 10 or news@KOLR10.com.
I'm not here to prove anybody wrong. I'm just here to prove myself right.
NFL dreams came true for a former Missouri State star, but he calls it bittersweet. Megan Rice shares all the details on Dylan Cole's pro football future. That's next in sports.
And now, KOLR 10 Sports with Megan Rice.
While the NFL draft draws the TV time, it's not the only way to make it on an NFL team. And tonight, at the conclusion of the draft, Missouri State's Dylan Cole signed a free agent contract with the Houston Texans, who had arguably the best defense in the league last year. Our Dan Malloy has the story on the Bear that turned Texan. Dan?
Many NFL draft gurus expected Dylan Cole's name to pop up sometime during Saturday's final rounds. But after 253 selections, Dylan Cole officially became an undrafted free agent. In a statement tonight, Cole said, "It's kind of bittersweet. I thought I was going to get picked up around the 6th round. When the 7th round came around, I just wanted to become a free agent so I could pick where I wanted to go and the best fit for me. Houston was that place." Cole was prepared to go undrafted, though he didn't expect it. When we spoke earlier this week, he said he might be overlooked due to the competition at the FCS level.
Right now, it might be a concern, but when you get to camp, you're a guy, and you have a name, you have a number, and that's it. We don't care where you're from.
He grew up dreaming of draft day, but all Cole really wanted was an opportunity, and he's got one in Houston.
It doesn't matter because you get to go to rookie camp, and then you get to go to OTAs and prove yourself.
Dylan Cole certainly proved himself at Missouri State, turning his one Division I offer into an All-American career. Now he's another long shot, but he's not motivated by those who passed on him.
I'm not here to prove anybody wrong. I'm just here to prove myself right. It's business now, and I'm trying to get my money.
He will get right to business for the Texans at a rookie minicamp next month. In Springfield, Dan Malloy, Color 10 Sports, Ozarks First.
All right, thanks, Dan, and congrats to Cole. As for Kansas City, the Chiefs headed into the draft with 10 picks, but after a busy weekend for general manager John Dorsey and lots of trading up, the Chiefs have selected their 6 new players. Kansas City picked up 3 offensive players and 3 defensive players and traded up 3 different times in the draft, of course, making the biggest noise in the first round when they moved up from the 27th pick to the 10th spot to get quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Here is a full list of Chiefs picks. In round 1, it was quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Then in the second, the Chiefs went defense, getting defensive end or linebacker Tano Passanio. The Chiefs then got running back Kareem Hunt in the third. In the fourth, KC selected J.U. Chesson, the wide receiver from Michigan, followed by Ukeme Uligwe, the linebacker out of Georgia Southern. Then the Chiefs' final pick in the 6th round was safety Leon McQuay, the third from USC. Now let's see how the local SEC schools did in the draft. Mizzou with only 1 player selected this year, but it was a good one. Linebacker Charles Harris adds his name to first-round defensive players to be drafted from Mizzou in recent years. Harris was selected 22nd overall by the Miami Dolphins. As for the Razorbacks, they had 3 players drafted. Defensive end Dietrich Wise went in the 4th round to New England. Then in the 5th, tight end Jeremy Sprinkle went to the Redskins. And in the 6th, defensive end Jeremiah Ledbetter was selected by the Lions. And of course today, the St. Louis Cardinals, Springfield Cardinals, Kansas City Royals all had their games canceled today.
Thanks, Megan, and congratulations to Dylan Cole.
Absolutely.
If I learned one thing from covering Missouri State football is that there is no one that works harder on the football
and
field.
a good person. Absolutely deserves it.
Phenomenal guy. Congratulations, Dylan. Color 10 News, we'll be right back.
So I've just received some information. This is going to go for northern Arkansas and Carroll County. Beaver Dam, they have opened up the floodgates, so that will likely cause some flooding, if not some flash flooding in the White River Valley across northern Arkansas. So if you live on the White River in northern Arkansas, you need to prepare for the possibility of some flooding or some flash flooding to begin within the next several hours as water comes out of the dam and enters the White River.
Wes, thanks. And of course, we'll keep you updated right here on Color 10 News if we do need to break in for any coverage at all. Also, we're online at ozarksfirst.com. Thanks for tuning in with us on this Saturday night. We hope you be back tomorrow. Have a good night.